was a time once ago where I saw you as Daddy Dearest. Your image in my eyes gleamed among all other. You were this lake in the desert. I knew of none like you. Promised you and myself that I would marry no one unlike you, but my eyes were opened young. But when I had opened my eyes for the last time that night, your hands were on her, wrapped around her ankles like shackles that kept her great-grandmother, and arms that held me strode against floorboards. Her fingernails ate carpet, pulling, scratching, screaming, reaching, pleading, but the backside of your left hand with knuckles identical to mine. And I stood in that windowsill overlooking your favorite patio. Hold me now, I'm 6 seconds from the plunge. I was 6 years old considering suicide. And as glasses shattered, I developed a new hate for you. You altered my ability to trust.
You know, we all experience things that kids shouldn't be able to wrap their mouths around. We were war veterans with flashbacks. We had this post-traumatic stress disorder from our lives, just from living.
There was a time once ago where I saw you as Daddy Dearest, but you are now nothing but an X chromosome and a constant reminder that hands for holding shouldn't hurt. Thank you.
When Hawah came and was like, let's go out into this forest, you can do what you want, and we're gonna talk out our problems. We're like, those are all the things we've been asking for this whole time.
Aisha! Yay! Yay! Oh, skip Hawah, go that way. We've all gotten together, those that could make it from 5 years ago, the program Fly By Light.
I know it. Look at you, cool guy.
And 9 of us out of the 14 have reconvened for a weekend.
She's a grown woman.
Hey man, what's up, bro? Yay!
Yes, it's Lamar.
We're reconnecting around purpose, around community, around laughter. We're taking a moment to find and remember what we did 5 years ago and kind of see what lessons stuck and which lessons kind of faded away.
What I really, really want from that retreat is just that open-mindedness. Come on, just that relaxation, that chance to get away, the air crisper than potato chips. It's crispy.
Peace!
Peace!
Okay, good morning.
I try to fight it now, because after the documentary, I became too emotional. I started crying over movies and just television shows, and I was just like, man, something's wrong with you, man. All the emotions caught up with me. So it's now I be fighting my emotions because I be so emotional. haven't allowed myself to cry, but I get emotional. But I haven't cried, I don't think in like 3 days, you know? Like, so, I mean, I think that's good. So, no, I'm just playing.
Exhale.
Sometimes we have to look deep within ourselves to discover what it is that's actually the root of a fear, of a problem. So today we're going to ask all of you guys to be aware of any traumatic experience that you might have gone through, any loss that you might have had, where it's still just lingering in your heart. And we're going to ask you today to be able to have the courage to bring it up so that we can eventually release it out.
There are a lot of things that are just scraping the surface. Just some things that you guys feel that are like over the top. Like that's not even like the bottom of it. Like when you see your mother on the floor begging and crying and screaming, and you know that it's because your father is putting his hands on her, and knowing that that's the cause of it, and seeing two people that made you fighting like that all the time, it hurts.
My story is still, going on, as far as I'm concerned with that healing. Like, and I'm at what I thought was the final leg, going on the first retreat. I'm at that final leg again.
I want to clear the energy in the room. I want to reset the space so when you walk back in, we can really allow for transformation to take place. So do this for yourselves. Walk with your partners, walk with your friends, take a breath of fresh air.
I want to make sure I stand up for myself and I can continue to forgive and move forward without having like a relapse, I think that's what everyone's afraid of right now in their own personal lives, is going back to where we were when we started.
The passion and the crying and the happiness, I want all of that back. We need to keep that. Like, that's the way you live your life. That's the way you stay afloat. We all said we are a family and it's not going to change. But it changed. We didn't keep in touch. We thought we were. We thought we was going to have it happen. But we all grew up.
Peace!
Peace!
Love!
Love!
Respect!
Respect!
For everyone!
For everyone! Since you guys finished the program, I do want to let you know, you guys, if you remember, you were in the pilot year. That was the first year we ever did Fly By Light. And since that time, the program has grown considerably. We run the program now in 6 high schools. And so this is the first time ever now that we're doing an alumni retreat. We've never done this before, where we bring people together when they're older, because you're all the first crew, you're all the first class. And we know just by talking about something that we begin to create healing around it, right? We've talked about this. Word is the step to manifestation. So is there anything y'all can think about in your lives that you want to move towards?
Going through everything that I went through, at the end, when I moved away, I was happy. Like, I was happy as could be. I had my own place. I got so happy, I was like, man, I'm gonna go back to school after dropping out. And then after everything, it's like I'm happy, but at the same time, it's a fight, because it's not that easy for me to just walk outside and be because everybody around me, that's not the type tip that they on. And it's even if I try to sit there and tell them right away, man, I'm just happy, man. They like, bruh, you tripping, ain't nothing to be happy about. So it's like, that's the biggest thing with me. Like, I want to be truly happy, but being where we at, it ain't the happiest place, you know?
You guys had to realize, even though we're grown now, we still were young then. And we saw you guys as saviors, even though you don't want to be seen as that. Not trying to like throw it in you guys' face, but that's what it is. It's a throw in you guys' face. We're gonna give these kids what you guys didn't get, but we're still going through it.
Because we were the
You
experiment.
Yeah, we were the ones who
we do understand that part, though.
We were the ones who were supposed to show the difference, like not see that. Okay, now we're still going through the shit. You get what I'm saying?
I totally get what you're saying.
It was like when we got thrown back into it, we were basically coming back as adults, basically. Our parents really didn't get us prepared for it, you know? And then, like, we were kind of expecting you guys to, you know, bumper us through it, man, coach us through it, and at the same time, it wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I reached out to y'all like crazy. I reached out to every one of you homies.
Now we're back.
So like, I hear you, but like, just keeping it 100, I reached out like crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
We're not saying it's just OCU.
Right.
We're even bringing it on ourselves.
Okay.
That's what we're saying. We're saying
now that the 5
we were
years
going
here,
through so
everybody's
much
here,
as kids
out of college,
that
here.
we couldn't all stay together. That's what
We can
hurt
change the
us.
game
You
plan
understand what
now,
I'm saying?
and like
I'm
you said, it's
not
getting
blaming
bigger.
it on Fly. That's not what happened. It was.
I'm hearing that, bro. Sorry.
Yes, you are. You are. So that's what I'm trying to.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what I'm trying to
we
get it out.
stabbed him. It's okay. You want a hug?
Yeah,
You want a hug?
You need a hug, Hawah, because what we're
Come on,
saying.
man. I think he needs one. It's all right, man. No.
As a whole, and like we were all kids. That's what I meant by we were still kids then, and we didn't understand. But today, we're all 20 and 20 over. We need to grow up. We're all determined to make a difference in our lives now.
And you guys led this conversation today. It wasn't me, and I really just thought we're gonna have a fireside chat, and clearly there's a lot of fire. And I love y'all so much.
Thank you so much.
You feel a little better, even though it was hard?
I feel awesome.
Just 'cause? Okay, good. What you're about to do is not necessarily going to be the end. It's just the beginning. It's a step and another step and another step. So you might not be ready to forgive that person tonight, but maybe you're willing to release yourself from some of that pain. Imagine and visualize that smoke as the weight on your chest and on your shoulders just rising and lifting up into the universe and sharing that burden with the world.
Doris and Dowdy, that's the name of my father and his mother. I release my pain and I'm free.
Pain I have is my mama, which I have tattooed on me, and she's still alive, and myself. I release.
My name is Mark, and that's my father. And I released my pain, and now I am free.
How do you think you would have been different?
Just like knowing I have somebody there for me. And I think if I would have had my father around, you know, playing with me, messing with me, throwing me up, picking with me, I would have been way better. Like, because I never experienced love. So I think, like, I would know what love is. I think I would feel more comfortable trusting people. Like, I would be more open-minded. But because he not around, that's why I'm so
Is he alive?
angry. Yeah, he alive. He lived, like, he right in the house with me now. I just moved up here and he just got out of jail, and so, but, like, I'm smart enough and I know enough not to blame myself and not to really, you know, base my actions on all him.
5 years ago, you were still yourself. And 5 years ago, you all shared and carried certain burdens and experiences. And we ceremoniously spent days and days working through those experiences. That was such a theme in our retreat, trying to heal or trying to let go of some hatred we had towards somebody, right? Do you still have that same level of hatred and animosity and anger, or do you feel that today, 5 years later, you've freed yourself and let yourself go from some of that? So let's go ahead and find your partners. Partner up.
It's crazy knowing that we all go through that thing, you know, still having to deal with our parents' actions, and then you gotta remember, they're not gonna change.
I used to resent my father. It turned into me forgiving him and, you know, like out of sight, out of mind. It was that for like a lot of years, and now he's like in my face, and, you know, I'm like talking to him, setting my boundaries and things. And
once you figure that out, that's when you gotta figure out if you wanna hurt yourself or take care of yourself, to take care of them at the end of the day. You know, it's those certain sacrifices, and that is hard.
I'm learning how to deal with that. Not just deal, but like do the right thing for myself.
You have to like live with those people and then they tell you all this dumb shit over and over again. You just don't know, and it's just like being a mom is like the best thing that ever happened to me. And if it wasn't for my mom, I probably wouldn't have never became a mom so young, because she put me out and I ran to what I ran to, and it was the best thing. So that's why I don't resent her anymore. It's like, you showed me what not to do, what never to become.
Can we all think of something we're grateful for here in this moment? It could be small or it could be grandiose. Just something you're grateful for.
I low-key forgot, like, what this felt like. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Like, I forgot what this felt like. Nah, because, like when we first got here and we did, like, the exercise in the barn, it was like, this is uncomfortable to, like, say stuff again. Like, it felt like the first day of the retreat 5 years ago all over again, which, you know, kind of, like, signaled to me that, like, we need to do more of this.
I'm grateful for my child. My child made me a better person. My child makes me want to be better for others. My child is the fresh ball of light. Like, she's everything to everybody that she comes in contact with.
As we sit here and we like continue to keep our bond strong, you know, we like see each other, you know, as we're growing up and we move forward, you know, and literally if we had never failed, if we have never gone through those moments, like we wouldn't be able to support each other like we can, you know.
This has been a blessing for me this weekend. We've been sharing time with each other as adults. When you're thinking about breaking the cycles, Martha, you said it right then. I mean, you all are gonna be parents, you're gonna be brothers, you're gonna be sisters, you're gonna be friends. And you can make that choice. You could choose to do what your parents did that hurt you, or you could choose to parent in a different way. That's how you break the cycle. So I wanna thank all of you for once again trusting me to be here and to be a part of leading this experience for you. I appreciate your trust.
Do you guys feel good?
Great.
Yeah. Fly by light.
Woo!
Mark gonna come through.
He's gonna come through.
On three, we'll say fly by light.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
I carry it every day now. Like, we were lucky to be taken on the retreat and get the luxury of talking about our past around other peers that were right around our age to find out that they were going through the same thing, you know? The trip definitely, it opened up the door to us understanding why we went through and how we can make a difference from going through it. It struck something in, I think, all of us.
It's good to see you too, brother.
That's all I need to do. I just have to stand strong. That's the main thing I have to remember. Stand strong and then remember to treat people how I want to be treated. Because hurt people, and misery always loves company.
So first up to the mic is Aisha Gardner.
One day the sun will set, and bones will feel more like a burden than support, and I'll still have my secrets. Tucked deep in tight corners, running rancid with regrets, I will feel more superwoman than senior citizen. And my grandmother will come for me when tombstones taunt sleeping, gleaming bright like freedom, and tell me it's time to come home. Peeking behind her, there will be a light of nomadic souls wandering, and I'll tell her, Grandma, it looks too crowded back there, and I'm too plagued for purgatory. Don't think those golden clouds up in heaven can bear the weight of me and my burdens. I don't want to slip into the pits. There are some things I must say before I go. Like one, I must tell my daughter about her grandfather, about how love caught my mother slipping and then had her falling. Realization in my perspective, reality turned birth pains more agonizing. Remember being lulled to sleep by the sound of shattering glass and curse words. But I won't tell her that her daddy almost looked like mine, because all demons look the same anyway, and our family is a bloodline of abuse.
Our parents did that. They raised us in the community we grew up in, or the circumstances we were born under, and we internalized it.
I've always been afraid of the truth. You see, fantasy has always felt better anyways. I spent too long hiding in dark shadows, afraid that I might meet my reflection, heavy eyelids from toking too long on wishes, worry lines from not knowing if I'd make it to tomorrow, concaving cheeks acting as reservoirs for lost hope. Truth is, I'm tired.
When Mark and I become parents, you know, when boom, Christina or Martha's already a parent, you know, that's resetting everything. And I think that's what our generation will be, you know, to reset.
I still don't know what God sounds like. Well, I wonder, does he hear prayers echoing through train carts only miles away from hell? I'll have spent what feels like a quarter of my life searching for whispers in a field of screams, but maybe I've been too distracted by slurred speech and swaying bodies to hear him. Well, I need to hear him before I sign my last goodbye on this existence, when hands begin to wrinkle and hair begins to silver, my spine resembling a question without any quote to crutch onto. I will feel more senior citizen than superwoman. But you see, I'll have no more secrets, because I can't be buried with the weight of my burden, so I give to you these lessons learned as legacies. Because there are some things
I just can't take to my grave. Thank you guys.